Hi there. As I told in my previous video, I will try my best to explain PatiEnce method and its working principles. While I was looking for a solution to my own problem, I realized that the real problem was not in the facts but in my perceptions. Then, when I turned my focus to my perceptions, I realized that most of my inferences were exaggerated and far from the truth. I understood that there was a need for a solution based on the correction of perception for the radical solution of psychological problems in the long term. And I created this method by bringing together the important points in the initials of the word patience. If you use PatiEnce method as I recommend it to you, I think you can also solve many problems radically and collectively. Patience is a word where your relief is hidden. I use this magnificent word in my method because even saying the method's name adds positivity for method's effectiveness. Moreover, I designed an affirmation using the word patience. I will share my affirmation in the next videos. Each letter has another big meaning inside. Let's start. First letter of patience is P, and P stands for patience. Plato says patience is the best remedy for every trouble. But what is patience literally? Is patience just waiting? Waiting in a bad manner? Waiting in fear? No, guys. Waiting the wrong way only adds stress to your problems. Let me explain. Patience is letting time pass by accepting your problems rather than fighting them. When you gain patience, you will let the time pass in peace even though you have tough problems. This method will not only help you about your mental suffering, it will also help you for your all life problems. In the future, I will prepare a special video about the meaning of patience. All concepts will be briefly explained in this video. They will all have their own special videos. The second letter of patience method is A, and A stands for acceptance. Accept everything as it is. I mean, accept thoughts as thoughts, accept the emotions as emotions, and accept the senses as sensations. In modern society, we are taught to fight our organic senses. This is not possible. If we do so, we will be tired and depleted. This leads emotional suffering. The more we fight our feelings, the more likely we develop a mental problem. If you fight your sorrow, it turns into depression. If you try to get over your natural worry or fear, it comes back as anxiety and panic attack. There are many things I want to explain on this subject, but I will make it crystal clear in a private video in the long run. What about the third letter, T? It is telling yourself that you are not sick. Until now, you thought you were unhealthy because you had some problems. I will explain these very well in the future, but believe me, my friend, feelings do not turn into disease. If you are afraid or worried, it does not mean that you are sick. If you run, your face will turn red. You can't be afraid of this blush because you know it is natural. When you have a panic attack, you blush and get scared. Why? Because you think it is unnatural. It's normal to blush when running, but why isn't it normal to blush when you are scared or overly anxious? Just as running is a natural behavior, fear is our natural emotion. We blush when we are afraid, and our fear increases as we feel afraid because of blush. If we can't break this cycle, it will continue like this. The patience method can teach us not to be afraid of our fear. The next letter of the patience method, I, is among the most important concepts of the patience method, indicating yourself that your problem isn't about the facts, it's all about your perceptions. Your imagination can be stronger than reality. In other words, perceptions are ahead of your facts. The same situations have different consequences for different people. It depends on your thoughts. I want to share an analogy. Two situations can arise if a friend walks past you at work without greeting you. In the first option, you are angry with him for not caring about you. The second option is to think that he is distracted by his family problems and feel sorry for him. Have you noticed two different emotional reactions in the same event? You may be angry or upset about the same situation. What determines this is your perception of the situation. When you learn to correct your perceptions, you will be on the train to happiness. Our next letter is E, which is the abbreviation of the word embrace. You may wonder what to embrace. You will embrace feelings and thoughts that are completely harmless to you, and the problems that result from them. Once you believe that what you are going through is not a disease, it won't be too hard to embrace. But this takes practice. Okay, it's not enough to say I am embracing my problems. You should learn the PatiEnce method and repeat it as much as you can. Then your fear will subside and you will begin to get along with your problems. When your brain sees that you are not afraid of your problems, you are not fighting them, your problems will leave you. One thing makes them go on. It is your fighting response with sensations, feelings, thoughts. The last three letters of the word patience are N, C, and E. N stands for notice. You have to understand that you have a lot to be thankful for in your life. I am not talking to sell dreams. This is the truth of all of us. Yes, although we have some problems, there are so many things in our lives that without them our life would be much more difficult. Sometimes we forget their value because they already exist and are in place. At first, we need to be thankful for we are alive now. Then we can breathe, we can walk, we can hear, we can feel, we can taste. We have someone perfect in our family, maybe more than one. How much did you pay for what you got, man? For your breath? For what you feel? For your loved ones? For those who love you? No, you didn't pay any. You came into the world with these, so you should be thankful for them. This is the realistic approach to life. Let's come to the letter C. It's an abbreviation of change. Change your attention to the present. You shouldn't be preoccupied with your thoughts and feelings all day. This distracts you from life. If you follow the clouds moving above you all day, you will not be able to walk a single step. You must change your focus to your body, your work, your book, or whatever you do. By doing this regularly, you will teach your brain that it doesn't need to be preoccupied with your thoughts, feelings, or emotions. After that, your brain doesn't tell your body to produce more hormones like adrenaline or dopamine. So your nerves are relaxed and then you relax. Our last letter is E and it points to the word empower. Your body has been waiting for you a long time to give it the opportunity it needs to heal. When you correct your perception and take your focus away from your thoughts and feelings, your brain will no longer disturb you and all your body organs and your brain, which is their captain, will correct everything. When you have a small cut on your finger, all you have to do is wait with some patience. It will heal on its own. If you constantly touch it, if you keep busy with it to control it, you will bleed it again. But if you don't do that, if you leave that cut to itself, your body will do the best it can and will heal it. Our bodies are perfectly designed to take care of themselves. There are many balances in our body. Mineral balances, for example, your body does not store iron above normal. You don't do anything with your mind to control your iron stores. Your body performs this task automatically. Hundreds of examples can be cited in these regards, but that is the subject of future videos. As your body manages to adjust the level of iron in your body, it can also handle the healing process of your nerves. Our part is to leave our body and brain a little bit alone. Don't interfere with your brain's business. You should continue your life, your work, your education, enjoying with your family and friends. You can live your life with some problems for a while. They will certainly leave you if you learn to live them by not fearing your natural emotions. As I said in some other concepts, I will prepare separate videos for all these concepts and explain them in detail. With this method, you will learn briefly that everything that affects you is not a disease. Therefore, if your emotions are affecting you, you are of course affected by them because you stopped seeing them as emotions and started seeing them as diseases. Because the perception of illness is seen and feared as a process that leads to death, these symptoms continue with fear. Because intense emotions, especially the feeling of fear, can have some consequences. In my upcoming videos, I plan to explain very clearly how fear has physical consequences. Believe me, everything will change when you accept that your feelings that are the cause of this fear are not a disease, but only an emotion, and it does not have the property of causing damage. Just as you are not afraid of being very happy, don't be afraid of worry or sadness. These are all emotions. As the level increases, it does not become a disease. What you need to do is to accept that there is no disease with a realistic approach. When this happens, your fear will decrease and its symptoms will disappear. This method should be repeated frequently during the day. If you use it when you feel bad, you will feel the difference. But I emphasize two things for this method to be useful. The first is to be convinced. The second is repeating regularly. When you watch the videos regularly with an open mind, you will be convinced, and when you repeat them often, the information will go down to your subconscious. I will make a video explaining each letter of the PatiEnce method. The purpose of these videos is to help you learn the PatiEnce method to a great extent. While doing this, mind your own business as much as possible. It's your duty not to constantly deal with your psychology and not to fight your emotions. You just repeat the videos regularly. After memorizing the PatiEnce method, say it to yourself sincerely in your mind throughout the day. Use this method when in a panic. Don't worry. If you do your part, your perception will change, and you will see that your thoughts, feelings, and symptoms that you think are diseases are not actually diseases. Once this happens, you will now be able to accept your problems. When you accept your problems, you will not be afraid. Because you are not afraid, the hormone secretion in your body will end due to fear. As the hormone is not secreted, your symptoms will decrease over time. As long as you learn not to deal with them, as long as you can be patient in your life. If you have noticed, my method seeks the solution in the most natural way. Weren't there those who were bored, afraid and worried 100 years ago? Yes, they did. But they didn't fight their psychology and emotions because they had realistic issues, and over time their problems were fixed by our body's healing mechanism. Maybe people have had panic attacks before, but their treatment was organic. They found the cure by drinking a cup of tea with their friends and managed to relax with the advice of a person called the village scholar. Because they called it only fear, only sadness. Today, we have exaggerated our emotions and covered them with names such as depression, anxiety, panic attacks. This made us very tired. What we need to do is to be realistic like our ancestor and not to fight our feelings with our thoughts. If we can perceive ourselves and our thoughts correctly, if we realize that thought by itself cannot do anything to people, we will understand this. Let's see what Rumi said. If thousands of mice stood up, the cat would have no fear or anxiety. Please, how can mice get in front of the cat? They do not have the strength to collect themselves in their souls. Thoughts are like rats here and we are like cats. Just as a cat should not be afraid of 1,000 mice, even if one has 1,000 thoughts, one should not be afraid of them because they have no power at all. The PatiEnce method is based on persuasion. If I convince you with the videos that you are not sick, but that what you are experiencing is organic processes and harmless, their effect will not be long on you. Your part is to do watching videos often. You need to watch at least one video a day. This is vital to change your subconscious. If you say, it's a good approach for my methods and to leave it there, your subconscious will not change once you are affected. It's not enough to agree me with my explanations. Your subconscious should be renewed by right information. I will try to increase your awareness on this subject by explaining PatiEnce components in more detail in my next videos. You can also use my method to beat depression. You better try the PatiEnce method, although it may seem a little different. Depression is a state of emotional exhaustion. It always passes. When emotional reserves are rebuilt and spirits automatically rise, you will see the difference. Emotional reserves replenish themselves even when you are depressed. That is, when you learn to use the PatiEnce method and use it regularly, your mind will feel freedom when your emotional reserves are renewed with the PatiEnce method. PatiEnce will teach you that you don't have to call your grief depression. Sadness is not a disease, it's just an emotion. And emotions are there to be experienced and to learn from them. If you get along with your so-called depressive thoughts, nothing bad will happen to you. On the other hand, if you choose to fight your natural emotions, your body will not win that battle. As you see that you cannot win, it affects you more by secreting hormones in your body. The hormones released can cause some physical sensations in your body, so you worry about yourself and the cycle continues as long as you don't break it. I designed PatiEnce method to break this cycle. When it's done correctly, your subconscious will change. It's very important to repeat. I want to share some examples about the power of repetitions. Why does each nation have its own folk songs and anthems? In armies, soldiers sing the anthems while they train. Thanks to these folk songs and anthems, people with nationalistic feelings will better protect their country. Think of religions. If you were born in a Muslim community, you will become a Muslim. If you were born in a Christian community, you will become a Christian. This shows the power of repetitions. Receiving information from your family and the environment again and again determines your religion. Of course, once you become an adult and research these topics, your opinions may change. This shows the power of repetition. A young person becomes a Christian when he is with his family until the age of 18, only because he receives indoctrination of Christianity. However, if he goes to university located a far destination and starts getting other information from different sources, He may consider becoming an atheist or converting to another religion, because his perception changed as the information he received repeatedly changed. Certain rituals are performed for the purpose of worship in every religion. The believer in that religion becomes more faithful. One of the reasons for this is the strong pervasiveness of repetition. In the next video, we will start to go into the details of the letters. First letter is P and it means patience, so next video will be about what is the real meaning of patience.